or I was popular YouTube. Another day, another demo. There's a bit of a change of scenery, as you can see. I packed up my whole life and I moved it over here to Copenhagen for Blast for 2 months. And maybe more if shit gets really crazy. Finally made it out here after not traveling since Blast spring. Right, I went on this crazy trip in December, end of November, December. Did Face It, then did Blast, and then went from Blast to Vietnam and the state of Vietnam and Thailand with my girlfriend for a month, and then more than a month, and then went to Blast Spring in London, flew there, and then did Blast Spring for 3 weeks, and then before that, went to DreamHack Leipzig, then to Blast Spring, and then went back home. Insane. I was gone for so long. That was the last time I traveled. So I definitely, I scratched the itch. If there was an itch, I definitely scratched on it a bit with that trip. I'm really glad that we went there, especially now. Like, you couldn't just go on a leisurely trip over to anywhere anymore. So a lot has changed. So I'm grateful I did that. And even right now, it's a bit strange to go try to travel. I had to go do a COVID test so that I could fly here from Toronto to Denmark. And Toronto cases, they're on a second spike, and Denmark's on a second spike as well, albeit less so. And I had to go do a COVID test. And the rules are that I have to do a COVID test 72 hours, within 72 hours of leaving the country. So when I arrive in Denmark, it's 72 hours that since I've been tested. So they can know I don't have Rona recently, basically. And the tough part for me was that because I could only get results back after like 48 hours or like a little more, in the third day, basically. I had to go on Friday, fly out on Monday, but that was the earliest I could get the test and still get results back. And I went end of the day, Friday, whatever. Got the results back. And I don't know if you've done a COVID test. I mean, it's not scary, it's not painful. It's just like very uncomfortable, right? Because they put a thing in your nose, and then it goes, and they pull out like a rod that's like 3 feet long, and they're like, okay, we're gonna put this in your nose, and you're like, like, I actually laughed. I was like, oh really? That's funny. Like Dr. Humor to make me comfortable. Where's the shorter real stick that you can actually fit in my nose? That's like, I understand I have a big nose. Like, I know that's not gonna fit. And they're like, all right, tilt your head back. And I was like, okay. So I tilt my head back, and then they just goes in, you know what I mean? Like a magician pulling out ribbon, that just keeps changing colors. Like, it was just going farther and farther. And she's like, I'm going to count to 10. So she's pushing it at like a regular, like a very comfortable, I guess, rate. And at first, of course, I mean, these are all parts of my nose. I've been in there. You know what I mean? I know what that feels like. But after like second 3, 4 seconds, 5 seconds, I mean, she's now in places that I've never been. Places that I've only been with a nasal rinse, right? Like that I've washed it out, but I mean, I can't fit a finger that far up. I haven't been in there with any kind of sharp tool or scraping device. I haven't used a nose hair trimmer and gone for the hairs on my brain. So this was crazy. This was like all the way. And so she gets like halfway to the middle of my brain, right? She starts moving around lobes. And at that point, my eyes start watering. I'm like, this is not fun. I can't escape this. I don't like this. And she's only on second 6 now. So 4 more seconds to go. I'm like, holy smokes. And my eyes start watering. And then afterwards, she pulled it out. I was like, yeah, that was not fun. I didn't enjoy that. And I don't want to scare. I'm just making it. Come on. I'm just telling a story. But it's not scary. Like if I had to do it again today, I wouldn't cry. Like I'd do it. It's just uncomfortable. And there's a few different kinds of tests. So anyway, I go to the airport, and then I had to bring like some work permit stuff because I could fly for business, but I can't fly for leisure. And so, I mean, this is like a long stint, right? So there's a lot of money involved. So I bring my work permit and stuff, and then I bring a COVID test. They show I got tested for COVID, and I walk up to the desk, and for any of you who have traveled, you'll know that because it's airports and countries communicating with each other with different rule sets, nobody knows the rules. Nobody knows the rules at all, and everyone in the airport is not in a great mood. Understandably, it's not an easy time right now. You feel like one of the last places you want to work is probably an airport. That being said, there weren't a lot of people there, which was cool. Virtually empty, honestly, which is unlike many of my traveling experiences. And the guy walks up to there's two ladies there helping me, and the one at the desk is like, are you allowed to go to Denmark? And I was like, yeah, for business, I can go for business. And she's like, oh, okay. And then she looks over at her friend, and her friend gives that look like, we got to leave this party. You know what I mean? Like one of those looks. And I was like, I have my work permit and stuff here. I handed over those papers. Oh, cool. And then she gets on the phone, calls someone. And then dude comes along, walks up, and she's like, "Hey, do you know if Denmark are allowing people to come?" And he was like, "Oh, he can't go to Denmark." I was like, "Oh, what?" And then my whole life flat. I mean, this is like, I got plans out here. I got lots of stuff to do in these next couple months. I literally packed everything. It's a lot of work for me. I haven't casted in a while. Like, this is pretty. I'm like, okay, I don't want to do this right now. No one wants to go all the way to the airport after packing. First of all, number one, before anything else, besides the money, the career stuff, all that, none of that stuff matters. No one wants to go to the airport after packing, and then get sent home. I've definitely done this before. I've gone to the airport a day early. I've gone to the airport a day late. I barely missed my flight once. Not the best situations, but this is a situation where I showed up 3 hours early because I knew something was going to happen. I knew somebody was going to have a different rule set than someone else. So I showed up early and I, talked it through, but he was just like, "Him? No, he can't go to Denmark." I was all right. Right. Okay. And then I actually just stood there. So my strategy is just say as little as possible and act confused. That's how I go about it. Like, ultimately, the way I see it is if, like, I'm not trying to lie. I have the information I need. But it feels like sometimes it's not about lying. It's just about like how someone feels that day, how much information people have. So I try just not to affect the mood too much, right? Just be there, listen. Hopefully they'll want to help me, and then we can go from there. But I don't try to fight people when they're in a position that they can actually like screw me over, So I stand there for like 25 minutes, and at one point, we got one lady Googling something, and then the other lady's like Catherine or something like that. She's Googling something else, and the dude standing in the middle, like the warden in a watchtower, just like scoping it on both screens. Like, yeah, I have that information on my screen, but it doesn't say that here, and this one was on this date, and that's not updated. And I was like, standing there, like watching this guy decide my fate, not even knowing that he just walked in, telling me I couldn't go, and now can't decide whether or not he was correct, all just in front of me as if I wasn't standing there. And, my face is like, with a mask on or whatever. So I'm just politely standing there. But in the inside, like I'm like that dog in the chair in the room that's on fire, right? Just like, please save me. Please figure this out. Please, God, let them Google the right keywords, right? Get them to the right pages. And then I text and ask for like the pages that I need, and the right ones get sent to me, but I don't need them. They figure it out. They cleared me to go, and I was like, cool. Thank you. Thank God. And then I end up going. And after that, I'm like, I'm probably going to get like deported at London for no reason. Like at this point, I'm like, people are Googling rules that I know the rules, and I'm just, who knows what's going to, if I get someone on a bad day in London and my connection, it's over. I'm just going to have to fly back, and that's going to be awful. And you guys know I had my back injury, right? So shout out to Blast. They comped me the rest of my business class flight ticket because I had my back is messed up, and that was a big lifesaver because when I was flying out there after packing and stuff like that, my back was pretty agitated. So I had a bed to lie down on, And I mean, I've flown business class before, and when I've flown business class before, it was basically me, playing Breath of the Wild on my Switch, ordering food every 10 seconds. Like, Jeeves, I'm on business. I need to absorb this. I need to take this in as much as possible. I can't sleep right now. I'll never be on a flight like this in my life, like ironically lying on my bed, but not using it in any form or fashion, asking for as much room or as much booth service as possible. But in this situation, I was here to sleep. So I slept most of the time. It was pretty good. And then I got to London. It was no problem. I got through Denmark, no problem. And now I'm here. Finally here. I'm going to be here until December 14th. I'm here to cast Blast Fall Series, as well as upcoming other events. So I'm going to be between here and another country. And I think that'll be announced soon enough. But yeah, I've got to say, Blast gave me a computer, which is amazing. Really just trying to make this place feel like home as much as possible. I'm in an apartment, so I'm actually got like a kitchen over here you can see. And I plan to cook. I ordered some incredible Thai food today. It was like Michelin star takeout Thai food. I put that on my Twitter as well. It was awesome. But I'm gonna start cooking. Probably oatmeal in the morning. Probably pastas, more pastas than, I'm not gonna use rice because I don't have a rice cooker. And just do more like pastas, and then maybe some roti. I might try to do some roti. I was staying like on my floor. I was like, the whole floor is gonna smell it. Okay, I'm gonna be cooking roti in here. The whole floor is gonna come running. Joey, Prius, Connor, Nicholas, everybody from Blast is on this floor. They're gonna come by my room. I'm trying my hardest not to say my room number because I keep almost saying it. But yeah, I'm gonna try to make this place feel as much like home as possible. And yeah, excited to be out here again. So what are we doing in this video? I forgot. Oh yeah, it's a video about ZywOo. Should I just make it a vlog? Or a 12-minute intro, man? I don't know. Should I just talk about that? Well, it took me forever to get the setup, so let's do the video. Fuck it. Let's do a video on ZywOo here. Okay. ZywOo. Okay, it's a matter of time. Also, I'm on one monitor. It's 240 hertz, but I would split it up to be, two 120 hertz monitors if possible, because then I could have my OBS open on the screen. But this is okay. I'm not complaining. This is definitely really good. But I might hit a hotkey when I open console. If I open console, I'll definitely mess up the whole video and not be able to see it. So we'll see. Because I have my weird binds. Okay. Oh my god, I got to do another rant. I forgot. For those of you who watch DreamHack Open Fall. Did I go full screen? For those of you who watch DreamHack Open Fall, okay? The grand finals. Connor and I decided, because sometimes we'll get messages from players. We'll get messages from sometimes players, sometimes fans of the country, whatever, people who know how to pronounce names properly, right? And they'll say, hey, this is actually how you pronounce the name. Sometimes they're like, are you an idiot? You didn't know Gade was pronounced Gad? Why aren't you pronouncing it Gad? And I'll be like, okay, man, like, let's be reasonable. How the fuck am I going to cast that, right? It's not possible. We got to the point where we were trying to pronounce Gade or God on stream, and NATO Sapphic sent us a voice clip which we played while we were casting to help with the pronunciation, which didn't help at all, which made us realize how much of a skill ceiling there was to speaking Danish and pronouncing Danish words. So we didn't even go and do that. But there's certain situations that will pronounce names correctly when it's convenient. Instead of saying Stavin, say Stown. Instead of saying veiled, say Valde. Or say, I don't know. There used to be a famous one back in the day where everyone said, oh, you're not pronouncing it Freiberg, whatever the fuck, right? Instead of Freiburg. And this was something that was directed at Anders. It was directed at us when I started casting. And some people were like, yeah, man, you do have to pronounce it properly. Well, at least try to say the free properly. Maybe not the bears, not the berg. And some people were like, oh, just say Freiburg. And Freiburg himself was like, just say Freiburg or I don't care. And this is a situation where the real pronunciation is not easy for native English speakers, right? Like this, a few people went out of their way to try to pronounce it properly. I think Semler did. I think even Anders did at one point, but it's just not easy, not natural. It's not, doesn't come out right. And so you can't say it. But when it is convenient, and I'm getting to my point here, we try to with lots of names. Like no one wants to sing boom blah, right? Instead of boomich, even though that's not in his name. Like we would read it as boom blah because it's a four. You know, there's so many examples of this. So here's where enter ZywOo, okay? Enter ZywOo, or that I think that would be the actual correct, like perfect pronunciation. ZywOo said, I think in a clip I didn't see at the time, where he said either is fine, ZywOo or ZywOo. Now, that means either is fine, right? His name is still ZywOo. That's still his real name. So, obviously, to get mad about someone pronouncing his name correctly is weird, right? That doesn't make any sense. That's like borderline xenophobia, right? To say that you're against someone pronouncing a name correctly when they can. If I'm going to pronounce a name and it's too hard to pronounce, I'm sorry, I won't be able to. If I can and I know it and I can't unknow it and it's not hard for me, why wouldn't I? So during DreamHack Fall in the finals, we just made the decision. We're gonna say ZywOo. We're gonna get used to it, and we're gonna say it. So that's how we heard it said. We've had lots of people ask, and it was just pure flack. It was just pure flack. I mean, I got to the point I went to actually watch part of the VODs, look for a round, and the spams were pretty funny. I won't lie. Some of the spams were pretty funny. I mean, it came to the point where they were pronouncing it in Twitch chat like it was a Chinese name, and then writing a Chinese bio like ZywOo, like ZIWU is a Chinese professional player from whatever Sichuan, like, and like all this stuff. And that was pretty good. But there were some people who were genuinely angry that DM me. Like, can you well, some of them didn't know, though. Some of them didn't even realize that was his real name. And they were like, can you just pronounce it properly? Yeah, you freaking moron I am, is the thing. And I talked to Apex today, and I was like, hey, I would want to ask you, because I did a piece of content with him, and I was like, I've been pronouncing it ZywOo, and people were getting upset. And he's like, here in France, nobody says names incorrectly. That's what he said to me. So, fuck everybody. That drove me nuts. No, you know what really put me over the edge? This is why I'll never go back on Reddit. Honestly, I came from Reddit. Reddit made me who I am as a content creator, but I can't, dude. Some of the stuff there, after a while, you just can't do it anymore. I read a comment that was like, yeah, I get that it is pronounced ZywOo to show everybody that he knows what the truth is, but why are they changing it now? As if to imply that, like, I haven't casted anything in 5 months. Right? Is the implication that we are changing it now? Is it the implication that we have a fucking coalition of casters that agree on pronunciations as they change? What did that mean? Why are they changing it now? Who's they? All casters? Or because I'm pretty sure Semler says it one way and Thorin says it the same way. We're saying it that way. I don't know who we or they are, but that one, I almost snapped. That one was, I can't do this, man. I can't do this. I can't reach it like that. I was like, that's too much. So that sent me overboard. I don't have anything more to say on that then. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Casters cannot win, ever. We cannot ever win, no matter what. Never. Don't let anyone tell you that we can ever win. If we get something right, we get something wrong. We get something, it doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter what the truth is. That's not what matters. I don't even know what matters. If it is not the truth, that has nothing to do with what people care about. That's all I've learned working online with stuff for the last 5 years. So now we do a demo on ZywOo. This is a 20-minute video. This can't be a 20-minute intro. Should I just do the ZywOo demo tomorrow? This video is going to be 40 minutes long. Can I just upload this? Okay, I'm just going to upload this. I'm going to upload this. I'm going to upload this as my vlog for today because I didn't want to upload. Oh, here's the other thing. I can do that because I only told the story in the beginning and then I didn't even talk about the demo I was going to do. So there we go. This is a vlog now. This is a vlog. All right. Okay. Fuck, what was I going to say? Oh. I just want to say I'm so glad that I don't have to upload my old videos. I have like these videos I pre-recorded a few weeks ago. And also it's getting pretty late here. It's actually 10 o'clock. And I don't know how loud I'm being because I think I'm pretty loud. And it's a little bit more echoey in here as well. So I don't want to go too long. Okay. I'm so embarrassed to upload these videos that I recorded like 3 weeks ago where I'm sitting down and I'm like talking over a demo. We don't have the demo stuff, like the new demo stuff, like the updated demo stuff, or like the hotkeys or anything like that, or like whatever. I recorded them all. I recorded a Doja one and one other one that's still left over. I don't want to use them though. I want to do standing up laos. Okay, I want to do this. And I want to do regular intros and do this. And everything's up to date. I don't want to upload those old demos. I should have just uploaded them right away. I'm so embarrassed. I cringe. Even with the Shiro ones or the art one. Oh, the art one got so many views too. Because art, so everyone's like, I want to know. I wish I did a standing up art one. Oh, it hurts me, man. Okay. Well, anyways, I'm glad to have gotten this sorted out. I'm gonna just make this a test and just try to skip to in-game. Just so we can test. I don't know if it's gonna work or not. I hope it works. That would be really cool. But I think I got everything. I went through so many trial and error, so much trial and error to get all the settings right, and to make sure that this would go off without a hitch. I mean, this is something that's just so many things that could go wrong when recording. So I just want to make sure it's right, and I hope that's good. I don't have the white webcam border thing. I didn't figure that out. There's a few things that I still would ideally like to do. But anyways, this is it. Okay, this is the whole video. There's no demo review. I hope you liked the video. Please leave a like if you liked the video. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for a Coach Lao.